Hello friends, hope you are fine. Today the podcast about Rahu in 8th house. As I repeated that Rahu in malefic houses does not give good results. Positive results are not expected at all because it activates the negative significations of malefic houses. It's because Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature and it does not own its sign like Libra by Venus, like Taurus by Venus. It does not possess any sign. Although some astrologers start giving a few signs to Rahu, but it's not defined to give its any sign, isn't it? Because it's a shadowy planet, and there are many other points, but that don't comprise the subject matter of this podcast. That's why I'm not going to mention such points here. However, Rahu gives only negative results, and what results will be, and it will depend on afflictions or not afflictions. If Rahu is afflicting its house of placement in the 8th house, it will lead to accidents. The person will get involved in scandals, and there will be problems with respect to continuity of marriage as well, and there will be issues with respect to inheritance as well, problem with respect to father-in-law, isn't it? The relationship with father-in-law will not be good, and there will be disintegration in family. There will be loss of domestic peace, and eye trouble will be there, and there will be problem in the pelvic region, isn't it? So these are the main problem. Eye troubles will be there, and it will lead to obstructions in general life. So these are all the results when Rahu is afflicting its house of placement in the 8th house. However, if Rahu is not afflicting its house of placement in the 8th house during its Antardasha, there will be deaths in the family, disputes in the family, losses, isn't it? So loss of domestic peace as well. There will be obstructions in life. However, to some extent, we can say in general that when Rahu is not afflicting its house of placement in the 8th house, the person is interested, given Rahu is utterly strong. In such a case, person is interested in occult science like astrology, numerology, and other sciences, isn't it? So these are the main results. To subscribe the channel in order to receive more videos like this. Now let us come to the Taurus ascendant. So far as Taurus ascendant native is concerned, as I mentioned that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature, and its placement in the malefic houses is not good placement at all, and here it does not give good results, and above all we can't strengthen Rahu in the malefic houses. We can't use Hasonite at all. No, not at all. So here it gives only negative results. So if Rahu is afflicting its house of placement in the 8th house, it leads to deaths in the family, disintegration in the family. It leads to losses. There are general obstructions in life. It leads to eye trouble. There is loss of domestic peace as well, and there are problems with respect to continuity of marriage as well. So these are the main results when Rahu is afflicting its house of placement in the 8th house. However, if Jupiter is utterly strong in the chart, Mars is utterly strong in the chart, Sun is utterly strong in the chart, under such conditions the impact of Rahu despite its affliction will be negligible. But these planets should be utterly strong. If Rahu is not afflicting its house of placement in the 8th house, it will lead to deaths in the family during its Antardasha. It will lead to losses. It will lead to obstructions in general life. So one will be interested in occult science as well. So these are the main results of Rahu in 8th house. So in general, we can't expect anything positive out of Rahu in 8th house, isn't it? So it depends to what extent the afflictions are. If afflictions are more than 50% or usually more than 50%, it becomes a matter of concern. And in case Rahu is in conjunction in the 8th house, that becomes a cause of concern for the native. And usually in the outer sexual organs like scrotum and pelvic region, natives face problems due to the affliction of Rahu in the 8th house. So these are the main results of Rahu in 8th house. And do subscribe the channel to receive more videos like this. Gemini ascendant, as I have said that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature, one can't expect anything positive out of it, and its placement in the malefic houses is a problem because it activates only negative significations of the malefic houses. So if it is afflicting its house of placement in the 8th house, it leads to impediments, it leads to disintegration of family, deaths in a family, it leads to losses. There is loss of domestic peace also, and one is involved in extramarital affairs as well. Secret relationships are visible in the life of the native. There are problems with respect to eye troubles are there. There are problems in the pelvic region also. So these are the main results when Rahu is placed and is giving affliction. It's rather it afflicts its house of placement in the 8th house. However, if Rahu is not afflicting its house of placement in the 8th house, it leads to deaths in family during its antardasha. It leads to deaths in family, disintegration of families. It leads to losses and general obstructions in life. So these are the main results when Rahu is placed in the 8th house in case of Gemini ascendant. However, if Mercury is utterly strong in the chart, or Jupiter gives a favorable aspect to Jupiter gives close aspect to Rahu, that will control the impact of Rahu, or Saturn gives close aspect to Rahu, that will again control Rahu in the chart. So what are the remedies? You can't remove Rahu from 8th house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the remedies for Rahu, like charities and other remedies. So do subscribe subscribe the channel, and in order to receive the notifications for the upcoming videos. Cancer ascendant, as I said that for the Cancer ascendant natives, Rahu creates more problem, but here it's placed in the 8th house, and it's Aquarius. So far as Aquarius sign is concerned, since medically both have air element, Rahu and Saturn, and here it does not create such a problem so far as medical ground is concerned. However, if it is giving afflictions in the chart, it becomes a matter of concern for the native. There are eye troubles as well. If it afflicts its house of placement in the 8th house, it involves the person in scandals, in secret relationships. One is also interested in occult science as well. There are impediments and obstructions in the continuity of marriage, in the marital, in the persistence of marriage rather. So there is loss of wealth, loss of domestic peace, domestic harmony, and there are problems with respect to sleep. Sound sleep is lacking. So these are the main results when Rahu afflicts its house of placement in the 8th house. However, if Saturn is utterly strong in the chart, if Venus is utterly strong in the chart, or Jupiter gives close aspect to Rahu, it will control the impact of Rahu in the chart. However, if it is not afflicting its house of placement in the 8th house, during its antardasha, it will lead to deaths in family, disintegration of family. There will be losses, and there will be obstructions to general life, to life in general, obstructions in aspects of life rather. So these are the main results of Rahu in 8th house. Now you can't remove Rahu from 8th house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and this is what comprises the scope of astrology. Do subscribe the channel in order to receive more videos like this. Now Leo ascendant chart, in case of Leo, it's placed in the Pisces, so it's placed in the 8th house. As I mentioned that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature, and its placement in the malefic houses is not at all good for all the ascendants, because it activates the negative significations of malefic houses. So it does not give any positive result in this, but one has to be quite cautious during its antardasha or mahadasha when Rahu is placed in the 8th house. So if it is afflicting its house of placement, it leads to, it involves the native in scandals. There is impediments in you know in marital life. There are loss of wealth is there, loss of domestic harmony is there, disintegration of families is there. So there is also a tendency to get involved in things like occult things. One is gets interested in occult science also, in order to enquire those things which are beyond imagination. So these are the main results of Rahu if it is afflicting its house of placement. However, if Moon is utterly strong in the chart, Mercury is utterly strong in the chart, Sun is utterly strong in the chart, or in case Jupiter gives close aspect to Rahu or Saturn gives close aspect to Rahu, under such conditions the impact of Rahu will lessen in the chart. However, if it does not afflict its house of placement in the 8th house, there are deaths in the family, disintegration of family, loss of reputation, loss of status, and impediments in life, and loss of mental peace are also. So these are the main results. Do subscribe the channel for the upcoming videos. Virgo ascendant, so far as Virgo ascendants are concerned, gives good results, but as I mentioned that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything positive out of it like other benefic planets. If it is afflicting its house of placement in the 8th house, it is a problem, and if it is afflicting, it leads to it involves the native in scandals. There are secret relationships, there are problems with respect to continuity of marriage, and there are problems with respect to inheritance, and problems with father-in-law also. There is loss of mental peace, loss of domestic harmony, loss of wealth, loss of sleep. So in case Mars is utterly strong in the chart, Sun is utterly strong in the chart, Mercury is utterly strong in the chart, Venus is utterly strong in the chart, Jupiter is utterly strong in the chart, in these cases, if strength of these planets is evident in the chart, the impact of Rahu will be negligible in the chart. However, these planets should be utterly strong in the chart. So in case it is not afflicting, or if Jupiter gives close aspect to Rahu, or Saturn gives close aspect to Rahu, or Mercury gives close aspect to Rahu, under such circumstances the impact of Rahu felt will be, the impact of Rahu will lessen due to the impact of these favorable planets on Rahu. So you can't remove Rahu. Now if Rahu is not afflicting in the 8th house, there are deaths in the family during its antardasha, these results will be there, that there are deaths in the family, disintegration of the family, losses and impediments in life. So, and eye troubles will be there, and these are the main problems that are involved in that are connected with Rahu in 8th house with respect to, in case of Virgo ascendant. Now you can't remove Rahu from 8th house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu. And so far as charities are concerned, or other remedies for Rahu are concerned, they can be, but with the help of gemstone, Rahu can be controlled completely in case of Virgo ascendant. As I mentioned in other podcasts as well, Rahu can be controlled easily, and this is my practical. I have controlled Rahu with the gemstone therapy, and there is a specific way of using their gemstone, isn't it? So Rahu gets controlled, it can't influence you at all. Its influence on your body and on your life, that will vanish with the help of a gemstone. So these are the main results. Do subscribe the channel for the upcoming videos. Libra ascendant Rahu gets exalted in the 8th house. However, as I said, that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature, one can't expect anything positive out of it, and its placement in the malefic houses is a bad placement, is a very dangerous placement, and here it does not give any positive result at all. So here it gets exalted. If it is afflicting its house of placement, it will lead to obstructions in life. There will be accidents, there will be obstructions. It leads to losses. It leads to loss of mental peace, loss of domestic peace, loss of status and reputation. There are one is involved in scandals also, and there are problems with father-in-law, problems with respect to continuity of marriage, problems with inheritance. If it is not afflicting its house of placement in the eighth house, it leads to deaths in family during its antardasha, disintegration of family, losses, and impediments in life in general. So these are the main results of Rahu in 8th house. Do subscribe the channel for the upcoming videos. Now you can't remove Rahu from 8th house, but you can remove the malefic influence Rahu, and that's possible with the proper remedies. Scorpio ascendant in Rahu in the 8th house, is a bad placement for all the ascendants, including Scorpio ascendant as well. As I mentioned, that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything positive out of it. So its placement in the malefic houses is, a problem, is a unique problem, because it activates the negative significations of the malefic houses, isn't it? It does not give any positive signification at all. So if it is afflicting its house of placement, it will lead to accidents. It involves the person in scandals and secret relationships as well, one is interested in during its antardasha. And if it is afflicting its house of placement, and one will have problems with inheritance, problems in father-in-law, obstructions in life. One will have interest in occult science as well, given Rahu is quite strong in the chart. So there will be loss of mental peace, loss of domestic harmony, loss of wealth, loss of status and reputation in the society. And if it is not afflicting, there will be deaths in family, disintegration of family, losses, and loss of domestic harmony, and impediments in life in general. So these are the main results of Rahu in 8th house. Do subscribe the channel in order to get notified for the upcoming videos like this. So you can't remove Rahu from 8th house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that's possible with the proper remedies. Then this is what comprises the scope of astrology. Okay. Sagittarius ascendant, Rahu in the 8th house is a problem for all the ascendants. However, as I said, that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything positive out of it. So if Rahu is afflicting its house of placement, it leads to accidents. There are obstructions in life. It involves the native in scandals. There are secret relationships also. One gets interested in occult science like astrology, and there are problems with inheritance, problems with the continuity of marriage, and problems with respect to father-in-law, and there is loss of mental peace, loss of domestic harmony, loss of status and reputation. And however, if moon is utterly strong, the impact felt will be low. If Jupiter and moon are strong in the chart, if it is not afflicting in the 8th house, there are deaths in the family, disintegration of family, losses, and impediments in life in general. So these are the main results of Rahu in 8th house in case of Sagittarius ascendant. In case Jupiter gives close aspect to Rahu, or Saturn gives close aspect to Rahu, under such circumstances, such situations, the impact of Rahu will get lessened automatically in the chart. So the nature of every chart is different, as I mentioned over and again. Every Sagittarius is different, although their personality matches to some extent, but it depends what will be the influence of the first house, the lagna, isn't it? What will be the influence of influence on the lagna lord, that is Jupiter in this case. So that determines the every Sagittarius is not like, they are not same 100%, they are not perfectly same. They vary, their personal traits vary, because there are different aspects on the lagna or on the lagna lord. That's why every Sagittarius is different, they don't match perfectly. However, it's not the subject matter of this podcast, isn't it? I'll come in other podcasts. Do subscribe the channel for the upcoming videos. Capricorn ascendant, for Capricorn ascendant, as I said, that all the ascendants placement in the 8th house is a problem, as Rahu does not give good results here. And as I mentioned, that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything positive out of it like other benefic planets. And if it is afflicting its house of placement in the 8th house, it leads to accidents, problems in inheritance, problems with father-in-law. One gets involved in scandals also, secret relationships also. One is involved in occult science as well, as it leads to Mm, if Rahu is strong, one gets interested in occult science like astrology. So there are problems in the continuity of marriage as well: loss of mental peace, loss of domestic harmony, loss of status and reputation in the society, and disintegration in the family as well. If it is not afflicting its house of placement, then there are deaths in the family, disintegration of family, loss of mental peace, and impediments in life in general. However, if Sun is utterly strong, if Jupiter is utterly strong, Saturn is utterly strong, and Mars is utterly strong, then the impact of Rahu will get lessened in the chart. So it get the impact of Rahu will get declined in the chart. In case Jupiter gives close aspect to Rahu, the impact of Rahu will still get down. So these are the main points. Do subscribe the channel for the upcoming videos. Now you can't remove Rahu from 8th house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, isn't it? And that is possible with the proper remedies for Rahu, and consistent and regular remedies rather. Now Aquarius ascendant, in case Aquarius ascendant, it becomes a matter of concern when Rahu gives affliction in the chart. As I mentioned, that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything positive out of it. And in its placement in the malefic houses 6th, 8th, and 12th is a problem, because it activates the negative significations of 8th house. If you start wearing hazonite and your Rahu is placed in the 8th house, there will be only problems. In case Saturn is placed in 8th house, isn't it, and you start wearing blue sapphire, no problem will be there. You will get everything will be positive. You will get nothing like positive, isn't it? Because that's the planet that's the benefic planet, and that is the Lagna Lord. The significations will be according to the Lagna and according to the general and particular significations of Saturn. In that case, you can wear blue sapphire easily. There will be no problem. But in case of Hazonite, it will activate the negative significations of 8th house. Now, if it is afflicting its house of placement in the 8th house, there are accidents, one gets involved in scandals, there are secret relationships, one gets problems with inheritance, problems with father-in-law, problems with marital life, and there is loss of mental peace, loss of sleep, loss of domestic harmony, loss of status and reputation, loss of wealth. So these are the main problems that are there, and eye troubles are also there, and problems in the pelvic region also, in scrotum as well. If Saturn, Mercury is utterly weak. However, if Mercury is utterly strong in the chart, the problem felt will be quite low. And in case Jupiter gives close aspect to Jupiter and Saturn, Jupiter or Saturn gives close aspect to Rahu, the problem felt will be low, and the impact of Rahu will decline in the chart. So these are the main problems. However, if it is not afflicting its house of placement in the 8th house, and there are deaths in the family, disintegration in family, losses, and impediments in life in general. So these are the main results of Rahu in 8th house. As I said, there is nothing positive in when Rahu is placed in malefic houses. It does not give anything positive. However, in other houses other than 6th, 8th, and 12th houses, it gives good results in exceptional cases. So these are the main points of Rahu in 8th house, isn't it? Pisces ascendant, as I mentioned, that for Pisceans it does not give good results at all, and it cannot be recommended at all in case of Pisces ascendant natives. So Jamsun for Rahu, I mean to say, can't be recommended in case of Pisceans. So Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything positive out of it, and it when it's placed in malefic houses, it activates the negative significations of these houses, and that's why its placement in these houses is a problem. If it is afflicting in 8th house, it leads to accidents. One gets involved in scandals, secret relationships. One gets interested in astrology as well. There are problems with father-in-law, problems with inheritance, problems in marital life, loss of sleep, loss of mental peace, loss of mental peace, loss of domestic harmony, loss of status and reputation, loss of wealth. So these are the main problems. If it is not afflicting its house of placement in the 8th house, there are deaths in the family, disintegration of family, losses, and impediments in life in general. So these are the main results. However, if Venus is utterly strong, Mars is utterly strong, or Jupiter gives close aspect to Rahu, under such circumstances the impact of Rahu will decline, and it can't create any problem to such an extent. Anyhow, as I said, there's a proper remedy with the help of a gemstone which is recommended to Pisceans and which controls Rahu, and there's a specific way of recommending it and wearing that gemstone, and that is possible, and it controls Rahu in case of Pisces and in case of Virgo, these two lagnas, and Rahu can be easily controlled with the help of gemstone. So these are the main results. Do subscribe the channel for the upcoming videos like this, and do like the channel, and do share these podcasts as much as possible, so that many people who need info on Vedic astrology, they may be able to increase their knowledge along with you. So bye bye. This is all about this podcast.